The palace of Zara gleamed like a jewel beneath 3 crimson suns. Its crystalline spires stretched toward the heavens, reflecting light in dazzling patterns. Within its walls, Princess Gracie lay dying. Even in her suffering, she was magnificent, scales of iridescent purple and gold covering her serpentine form, wings folded like crumpled silk against her back. Her kind, the Drakari, had ruled the Andromeda sector for 10,000 years. Ancient, proud, powerful, and yet now, their princess could barely lift her head. Another one has failed, growled King Vexter, his massive claws scraping against the marble floor. 17 doctors from 17 worlds. And none could cure her. In the corner, a human named Jake stood quietly, clutching a cleaning rag. Small, frail, short-lived by galactic standards. Humans had only been discovered by the Drakari 50 years ago. Considered useful as servants, intelligent enough to follow orders, and nothing more. The fever spreads, whispered Dr. Keelix, a being of pure energy encased in a crystalline matrix. Her neural pathways deteriorate. 3 solar cycles remain before organ failure is complete. The Queen released a sound like breaking mountains. Jake winced. For 6 months, he had been assigned to Gracie's chambers, arriving before dawn, cleaning, organizing, being invisible. Week by week, he had watched her condition worsen. "Leave us," commanded the king. The doctors filed out, their forms shuffling, floating, or phasing through the doorway. Jake moved to follow, but Gracie's amber eyes, sharp despite her illness, locked on him. "Stay," she whispered in Galactic common, her voice like wind through ancient caves. "Please." The king looked at his daughter, grief etched across his massive features. Slowly, he nodded and departed, leaving the human alone with the dying princess. "You're the quiet one," Gracie said, attempting a smile that revealed rows of crystalline teeth. "Jake." "Yes, you've been kind. You move gently." He set down his cleaning supplies. "You should rest," he said. "I've done nothing but rest for months." She coughed, sparks of bioluminescence flickering across her scales. "Tell me about Earth," she whispered. "Something new. Not medical diagnostics." So Jake spoke. He told her about rain. The smell, the feel, the fear and love humans held for it. He described autumn leaves, bread baking, children laughing in playgrounds. Mundane things, but they made Gracie's eyes brighten with wonder. "Your world sounds beautiful," she murmured. "Simpler than this." "Different," Jake corrected gently. "Not simpler, just different." As they spoke, Jake noticed a faint smell, chemical, artificial. His mother had been a nurse before the Drakari arrived, and had taught him that sometimes the simplest observations mattered most. "Your Highness," he said carefully, "may I ask when you first became ill?" 6 months ago, Gracie replied. "I woke one morning with a headache that never left." 6 months. The same time Jake had been assigned here. He looked around the chamber with new eyes. 17 doctors with scans, tests, and complex analyses. But had any looked at her environment? "Your Highness, may I investigate something?" Gracie tilted her head, confused but intrigued. "Investigate what?" Jake knelt by her sleeping platform, an enormous bed of temperature-regulated cushions and precious metals. Beneath it, hidden in the shadows, pulsed a small hexagonal device, glowing sickly green. Jake's blood ran cold. "What is it?" Gracie asked, trying to lift herself. Jake carefully pulled it out. His hands trembled. The Drakari script marked it clearly. A poison emitter, a slow-release neural toxin dispenser. "Someone has been poisoning you," he said, voice hollow. "Not with disease, but with targeted toxins." The doctors were searching for illness. They never thought to check for sabotage. Gracie's eyes widened. "Impossible." "Who?" "I don't know," Jake said. "But this explains why your symptoms never matched any known disease." He stood, device in hand. "We need to show this to your father now." The revelation shook the palace. The device traced back to Lord Caxter, a high-ranking noble seeking to claim the throne by eliminating the heir. Within days, with the poison removed and treatment administered, Princess Gracie began to recover. 3 weeks later, she stood on her balcony, wings spread wide, feeling the sun's warmth for the first time in months. Jake, preparing to return to the lower levels, was called back. "Jake," Gracie said, her voice strong again. 17 of the galaxy's greatest minds failed to save me," she smiled. "They brought advanced technologies, millennia of knowledge, unshakable confidence. And a human with a cleaning rag looked under my bed." Jake blushed. "I just noticed something seemed off." "You noticed because you were present, because you listened, because you didn't assume complexity required a complex answer." Gracie extended her claw, placing a medallion bearing the royal seal in his palm. "My father is establishing new protocols. Humans will no longer be restricted to servant roles. Your people see things we've forgotten to look for. Jake stared, speechless. Sometimes, Gracie continued, looking at the stars. Salvation doesn't come from the powerful or the ancient. Sometimes it comes from the observant, the humble, the ones who care enough to check the shadows. She met his eyes. Thank you, Jake, for reminding us that wisdom and rank are not the same thing. As Jake left the palace that evening, walking among his fellow humans with new possibilities on the horizon, he couldn't help but smile. Humanity had entered the galactic stage, the youngest, weakest species, but perhaps they'd brought something invaluable after all. The simple, profound gift of paying attention. In a universe of cosmic complexity, sometimes that was exactly what was needed. Please follow my channel for more videos. One click from you can change my life. Rocket.